pressed for time and that you've been running around just to make this show. So we will not be defeated. It was going to go down no matter what.
That's right.
Again, everybody, this is Tosha Smith-Mills. She's come on today. She's one of the infamous talent agents. She's been working with several different people throughout the years. She has over 18 years of experience. She's an author, and she also has an organization called Parents with Voices. So we're going to talk about all the different things that she does, because she just has all this talent just bottled up, and we want to make it explode. So, Miss Tosha, first tell us about, we're gonna first tell us about the 18 years of experience in the legal profession. What did you actually do?
So I have a paralegal certificate. So I've been a paralegal for, the last 18 years at an environmental firm while running my agency, The Talent Connection. And I got into the business because my kids were in the business, right? And then I decided to open up my agency to more talent. One of the people that I discovered was Jason Mitchell from Straight Outta Compton, and so many other people. I'm still, my agency's still running, but my friend Stacy is running the agency right now because I've been on tour with my book, Momma, I Should Have Listened. And I'm shooting a documentary called Unheard Voices, A Mother's Quest for Freedom.
Wow. So you're very busy.
I'm busy. I'm really busy.
So did you get connected with the talent agent? Was like being a paralegal, did that connect you to a lot of the people that are in the industry? Like, how did you have that connection? You said
No, actually, as a talent agent, I just started off basically with my two children, who had an agent in New Orleans, and I was always on set with them. So I decided, hey, since I'm here, let me start my own agency for African American talent. And then they started to shoot a movie here called Playmakers with Boris Kojo, Nicole Ari Parker, and some more people. And one of the casting directors who was casting that movie, Peter Wise from LA, he kind of just started sending me talent from all over the place. Jacqueline Fleming, Maria Secor, Mickey Val, and the agency just started to grow, and I started to take on new talent, and here we are. It's been about 20 years now. About 20 years I've been in the business.
Wow. And do you do anything else with your agency other than finding the talent? Is there any other like management or any other?
Actually, I've gotten to literary management. So I manage also literary writers. I'm also a ghostwriter. So there's so many different components to our agency, but lately I've been basically shooting this documentary because right now that's my baby. I'm an award-winning author of a book, like I said, called Momma, I Should Have Listened. I wrote the book out of passion and concern, and I didn't realize that the book would, win awards all over the country. I've spoken all over the country. I've spoken in prisons. I've spoken in youth facilities, in churches, women conferences, just speaking to women about their children and how they can propel them to move forward in the right way.
Awesome. So what exactly is the book about?
The book is about my oldest son, Blake. At 17 years old, he received 40 years in prison for robbery in Texas. He started to be really rebellious, wanted to go live with a father that he barely knew, ran away, went to Texas, left New Orleans, went to Texas. And after about 4 weeks, he committed a robbery. And that robbery cost him 40 years of his life. So right now we're fighting for his freedom, along with so many other parents, mothers, kids who are for their freedom as well, who, if they're not in there unjustly, they're in there for injustice of time. The time is just too much. And especially for our kids, African American kids, our kids are in there for the crime that they have committed, but the time that they get is because of their race. So that's what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting to, so that's what the book is about. The book is basically talking to mothers, talking to other kids about changing the trajectory of their lives to go into a different direction.
Wow. And is that how the Parents with Voices
got? Yes. So Parents with Voices is a nonprofit organization. And I got this idea in my sleep. God always talks to me when I'm in my sleep. But during the pandemic, he said, go out and speak to mothers who are going through what you have been through. Because in my book, I touch on, I tried to kill myself when my son went to prison. I went through so much adversity until it was a crying shame. And so when the book came out, I didn't realize how many mothers were going through what I had went through. So God said, listen, I need you to go out and I need you to help these mothers. And so I started in the city of New Orleans, where I'm from. I put up a post and no one was biting on that post. So I guess God didn't want me locally. He wanted me globally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I put out another post in all these groups that I'm in, and I had parents from all different ethnic backgrounds and all different, religions and races. They were coming up saying, I want to speak in this documentary. I want to talk to you about my journey and what I've been through. And so that's where Unheard Voices came from. So what I did, my son is a filmmaker. And my son, myself, and my husband, we took this on a road and we went and got all of their stories. We got McKinley Phipps' mother, who it was a rapper on Master P's label. He got 30 years for manslaughter. I also got Alyssa Jean, Botham Jean's sister, the guy that was killed by a police officer in Dallas. And the white police officer only got 10 years, right? So we also have her on there. And then we have experts on there as well. So we have about 21 mothers that we interviewed, but we're going to highlight maybe about 7 of these mothers who, who are illegal immigrants, who have been deported and came back. And we talk about generational curse. And then I bring them here for a retreat for 3 days and I put them up. And then I bring experts in to come in and talk to them. And so this documentary should be hitting probably in August.
Okay. How long is it?
It's a docu-series. So we're going to have, So in our docu-series, I'm going to walk you through my story. And what I'm showing in my story is parents who seem like they have it all together, but they really, really don't. And it comes out, their kids have to tell them, Mom, there are some things that you missed within our story, right? And so you hear my story, and then I bring up, then I have other mothers come in and they talk about their stories. I have 2 Jewish mothers, I have Mexican mothers, I have Black mothers. And we just take you on our journey, what it's like to have kids that are incarcerated, because we are the missing piece of the puzzle, and nobody sees that missing piece. You always hear about children with incarcerated parents, but you never hear about mothers with incarcerated children.
Yeah, that is interesting. I had a relative that did a long stint of time for something that he should not have been going a long stint of time for. And it was difficult to go see him because they were always sending him to different locations. Was never in the same place. So how do you find that to be? Is that the same thing going on with your son? Is he like transferred from place to place after so many years of being there?
Absolutely. And all of our mothers, I have one mother on there who has 3 kids in prison, in federal prison. She lives here in New Orleans, and her sons are all over the place. One is in Kentucky, one is in Chicago, and one is in Texas. I have a mother who's an illegal immigrant. she'll never be able to get to see her two kids. But in her story, we talk about generational curse, because not only did she go to prison and get deported, she swam back from Mexico to New Orleans to Texas, got shot at several times, had to get back because her daughter went to prison, and her daughter had a baby in prison, and the baby was born with his intestines out. So she had to take on that. And then she has two other sons that are in prison now that she'll never get to see because she is living here illegally.
Wow. So there are organizations for illegal immigrants.
Yes.
I'm sure you're connected to them. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so we're going to be bringing some specialists on, some experts on, that's going to walk her through her journey. I can't tell you everything, but they're going to walk her through it, and she's going to get some relief. You're also going to see, one of my mother's son got killed by the police in North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and it's a story that has never been told. Right? So you're going to see that footage of him being shot 10 times in the back by the police officer. And nobody has ever seen that footage. And so we're bringing all that footage out. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about racial injustice. We're going to talk about injustice of time. We're going to talk about economic disparities, disparities in the prison, how our kids are being treated differently, Black and brown kids from Caucasian kids. We're going to talk about all that. And then I have parents who we are going to go head to toe, right? Because how can white child get 7 years for murder? And then you have my son who got 40 years for robbery.
Right. So now it's a pandemic.
Yes.
And you have a lot of prisoners that, because they're in one location, they're getting the virus. Has that been the instance for where your son is located?
Well, my son hasn't gotten the virus, but the virus is running rapid in their facility, which is the William Clements unit in Amarillo, Texas. So they have them locked down. They only could come out to make phone calls 15 minutes a day, and then they're going back in lockdown. One of my parents called me last night and said her son can only take 15-minute shower a week, once a week. So he's in his cell, basically, like doing this, these cold showers, these cold wash off, putting his towel in the toilet to wash his body off with soap. Right. So these are things that people really don't get to see. And I'm going to break a lot of that down. I'm going to break a lot of that down. You have white people, some white men, they fought to get air conditioning and heat in the Texas prison. They don't have heat or air conditioning, but they fought. And now they're in a psychiatric unit because that's the only place that they have heat and air conditioning. So we're going to show all of that. I might need a security guard after this.
Yeah, I think there's some people in government, in politics, that might be a little upset because they definitely don't want that out. But kudos to you and all the women that participated in spreading the word, because that is something that definitely needs to be shared with everyone. Because we don't know, not unless we're exposed to it. And I can tell you that I've seen some things myself from the visitations that I've gone to. But with the virus, I would have never dreamed that they would only allow someone to take a shower once a week.
Yes. And it's really, this pandemic has really shown us mothers the work that we need to continue to do. So you'll see us going up against the legislative boards, trying to get laws changed, in this fight for our kids. So I'm leading 21 women, and I'm leading while I'm still bleeding. But I do believe God has put me on this assignment because he knew that I can carry this over when no one else, could. I'm bold. I'm big and bold. So like, okay, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And we're going to get a lot of criticism because a lot of people are not ready for what they are about to see. They're just not ready. And the first people that they blame are always the parents. It's always the parents' fault when their kids go to jail. But you guys are gonna be in for a really treat where it's gonna make you mad, it's gonna make you angry, but it's also gonna make you smile because of the work that we're doing.
Awesome. So are you open to the public? Like, can other women that are going through the same thing, can they join your organization?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. They can, go to my website, which is www.toshamills.com. They can go to my website, read all about me, and then, send me an email. Right now we have maybe about 100 women waiting because I'm just trying to finish this documentary out, get it out, and then I'm able to go on to the next season because I think this is going to be something ongoing. Because this is something that no one speaks about. We don't speak about, right? And what we don't reveal, we never heal from. So you guys are gonna be in for a real treat. We're talking about molestation. We're talking about what goes on in the black houses, stays in a black house. How we were always taught to push things under the rug and not talk about it, and then it forms up like a cancer. And then what happens is we spill it over to our kids. And, my son in my book, he told me there were some things that I missed. And so we got, we really got deep in this book, really got deep.
So will it be a part 2 of the book, or are you just going to add in addition to?
I don't know. Because I talk about a lot in this documentary. I don't think we're going to need another book because we're going to have several seasons of this documentary. And we're praying that Netflix or Lifetime picks it up. We've won, several grants, and people are really waiting for this to come out because they said they've never heard of a project like this where mothers are speaking out about their kids, and we get raw with it. Like, we get raw where some mothers are gonna want to start coming out speaking like, yeah, my kid was wrong. He did commit this crime. And I make them say he committed this crime. Stop saying he didn't do it when there's evidence that he did do it. So let's fix it. Let's go on this journey and let's fix it.
Right. So do you actually, look, now I'm curious, do you actually have footage inside the prisons by any chance?
I don't. They would not let me get footage inside the prison.
I was wondering.
And I was volunteering in the prison here, right? And I wanted so bad to get footage, but it would have been illegal. I probably would be locked up. But I've spoken in prisons around the country, Sacramento State Prison I've spoken at. I've spoken at several prisons, and I go back there just to kind of see what happens behind those walls. Yeah. And they're always very, the guys are always really, really nice. I haven't gotten a chance to go into a woman's prison yet. But I'm excited that I'll get that chance.
Wow. So what if someone wanted to donate to your organization, or do they go to, is there another location other than your website? Like, if someone wanted
to, they can donate. We have a Cash App. It's Unheard Voices 2020, and they can donate to our documentary because it's ongoing. So we're going to need lots of funds. We funded this on our own. We had 2 Jewish organizations that came in and gave us, one gave 5, one gave 3. But I mean, we have funded this basically on our own. It took us we're at about $56,000 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I hope the right investor hears this story. Yeah. This is why I love doing this show, because the exposure gets you to places that you probably never thought that people would hear. And it'll be that one little investor sitting in India somewhere that will say, send them a check. So I hope it gets into the right hands, because that would be wonderful if someone can help and just completely pay for the whole thing for you so that it wouldn't even be an issue. But that is going to be a powerful documentary, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. And my son is directing it. He's the FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology graduate. And he just got into filmmaking. And so he's directing this whole project. He's been working really, really, really hard on it. So I know that he's probably going to win the best director award, because he won grants as well. And he's also an actor. So, you know, I'm kind of putting a lot of this aside to kind of go on and help me with this documentary, because he knows that it means so much to me and the other mothers that are involved.
This is so awesome. So if you're just now tuning in, this is Tosha Smith-Mills. She has an organization called Parents with Voices. She's also an award-winning best-selling author of Momma, I Should Have Listened. And basically, she's running a organization, and her books talk about young men that are being incarcerated and giving this astronomical amount of time, the Black versus white, on how this is being basically unfair to the African American community, as well as the Hispanic community.
Yes.
Yeah, there are some Hispanic women that are also suffering with their children in jail, and they can't go see them, and they're given this large amount of time for something where another Caucasian prisoner probably would have gotten 1/4 of that time.
Yes.
So Tosha is your advocate. She is going out there beating the streets. She got that documentary coming out. She gonna shock all of us. We're gonna be like, woo woo, and all of us are gonna be angry, and we're gonna be out there marching again, and it's gonna start a whole nother revolution of stuff.
I mean, you're gonna see me going head to toe with judges, because it's what people don't realize is it's always the temperament of the judge. So he can give 5 years, or he can give you the max, which is 40 years. It's all about the judge. So if he wake up and say, look, I want to sentence that kid, or make an example out of that kid and give him the max, and he's within those guidelines, he can do that. And so I want just people to, we have to fight. Like, we really have to get out there and start fighting. We have to change bills. We have to, you know, go to the legislative board and start speaking out. The marches aren't just helping. We have to do a lot more. We got to do a lot more, because George Floyd was only the tip of the iceberg. But you have 2.3 million people in prison, and 2.3 million people have mothers. And everything is hidden behind a smile. So you don't know what these mothers go through. And we are about to show them what these mothers are going through. You know, one of my mothers had a kid in prison. One of my Hispanic mothers had a kid in prison, and the baby just dropped out of her in her cell because they kept sending her back to her cell. So we have a lot going on. This is going to be really, really good. You're going to see, it's going to make you angry.
Oh, it's making me angry just listening to it right now. Like, you see the expression on my face, like, really? Is this really still going on? It's very sad. It is very sad. But I believe that you're making a difference, young lady, and I believe that you're going to be out there making it happen and making it do what it do. So I'm not even worried. Because this documentary is about to bring change. I do believe that.
So I've switched some gears. You know, the agency is still running up, and we're still good. You know, that's also my baby, but right now someone is just running it for me. I have some book deals in the works as well, as I ghostwrite for other people. But right now, everything is about this documentary. Everything. We're trying to change some lives and make some people proud and make some people happy. You know, trying to get these kids out of prison, because a lot of them don't even belong there.
Right. So let's switch over to the talent. If you had some, because I'm connected to like thousands of actors between Facebook and YouTube. If an actor wanted to come to your talent agency, give them the tools of what they need before they even walk in the door. What do they need to give you to?
Oh my God. So everyone thinks that they can just wake up and they can be an actor, right? I get these calls. You know, my daughter has blonde hair and blue eyes. And, you know, when we go in the grocery store, people are telling her she needs to be on a commercial. Or, you know, you have these comedians that think that, okay, so I can be an actor. It doesn't work like that. This is a skill. This is a
Right.
special skill. I can't even act, right? I was in a National Toyota commercial and I was tired. I was like, there's no way that I could do that. And I was getting like residuals, serious residuals. But people think that they can just wake up and become an actor. You can't. You need to start, you need to go to a film and television coach or someone who's teaching film and television, not going to a Barbizon or a John Casablanca. You need something like that. And people are out here spending $5,000 and $6,000 to send their kids to these schools for what? Like they don't have film and television coaches. If you want to get into theater, go to a theater coach. But you can't go to a theater coach and think you're going to come on the side of film and TV because it doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm. I was one of those kids in the 80s that was a Barbizon child. My mother let me go to 3 sessions, and then she was like, okay, this is stupid because they my money. So, you know, it was just time in the studio where they taught you how to walk, and they taught you how to hit your head. And she was like, is that all you learning? Like, yeah. So she was like, okay, I'm going to stop because they're just taking my money. So you're right. Definitely have to have some other form of coaching than.
Absolutely. And, you know, my son, he owns a modeling agency in New York City. And so he's so connected like with the major agencies because he takes all of their pictures for them. And so when you're coming to him saying, you know, I want to be a model and you're 5'3", you know, that's not going to work, you know? So you need, and people just don't want to hear that. Right?
Well, I'm laughing because I'm 5'1". I'm laughing because I'm 5'1".
They want to hear, look, they want to hear that, you know, oh, I can do this. Okay, so you need to lay off the salt because your cheekbones are really puffy, you know, and you have to be really honest with them. And I don't think people are because it has gotten to be such a money scheme, you know?
It is. So, I told you I went to 3 sessions. And I've been 5'1" for a very long time. So go figure.
And I mean, you have to appreciate it because I just wouldn't want you to sit on my roster and think that, you know, I'm going to call you tomorrow. And people look at Jason Mitchell and they're like, okay, so he made it. Like one Straight Outta Compton came out. Teresa, my phone was ringing off the hook. My phone was ringing off the hook. My Facebook was going off. My Instagram, like it was ridiculous. And I'm like, it just doesn't happen like that. This guy went to film school. He took classes with a professional film coach. And they just don't want to do that. Nobody wants to put in the work anymore. They think I'm going to just get up and everything's going to work out for me. And it just doesn't.
Right. Yeah. I have put on some plays, and I can tell you that if an actor rocks at least 2 or 3 shows, oh, you can't tell them that they need training. You can't tell them that. And they want to pay. They want to be paid like they on a Tyler Perry set.
Absolutely.
No, sir. So yeah, people, she's telling you, please go find some management and some people, coaches, because you're giving the rest of us headaches when we try to hire you for these jobs.
Absolutely. And people just don't want to, they just don't understand it. Like everybody wants to be the next Kim Kardashian or the next Beyonce. And you have to understand Beyonce has 24 hours in a day and she probably works 20 of those hours. You know what I mean? So she's constantly putting in the work and people just, they don't want to do that. They think I'm going to be an Instagram star and I'm going to get on TV, I'm going to get on film. That's not the way that it works.
So do they need like a package? Because, you know, some people, I'm sure they're just walking through your door and they're saying, hey, my name is so-and-so, I'm ready to be a star. Like what do they need to bring to you? when they?
Well, actually, I sit down and I go through a session with them if I feel like they have what it takes. But
Mhm.
a casting director will not see you unless you have some film and television credits, or either you're seeing a film and television coach, right? Because there's
Okay.
so many people who are doing what they need to do to get seen. How it works is, say Tyler Perry is casting for the Half and Have Nots, right? So his
Mhm.
casting director sends out a breakdown to all the agents in the southeastern region, and then we submit. And then they'll call back and say, okay, well, I want to see Stacy, I want to see Chris, I want to see, so and so, right? They're not going to call back if you don't
Mhm.
have any television credits. Now, Tyler Perry may, because everything for him is about looks, about the appearance. But when you start going on other shows like Queen Sugar, I have a few actors on that, the Disney Channel, Greenleaf,
Mhm.
they want actors, they want real actors. And
Right.
unless you have that, so we help you get it together. We help you find the right coach. Actually, we have coaches in our camp. We help you find the right coach. We help you get the headshots that you need, and then we develop you.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's what's missing a lot in a lot of these, even music industry, whatever industry, is the development piece. That's something that they tend to have taken out, because everybody's rush, 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 and they want the money real quick, and they don't take that time to develop that artist. And they convince these people that they're ready in 3 months to go conquer the world, and it just doesn't work like that.
absolutely. And it doesn't work like that. You have to put in a lot of work, and that's what people just are not willing to do anymore. They're not willing to put in the work. And they're like, okay, so how are you an agent? I put in a lot of work. I made a lot of mistakes, but here we are 20 years down the line. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
um, I'm now respected in the industry. So when I
Yes.
call, the casting directors will pick up the phone. But this is just not something that you can wake up and do. You have to put in the effort, and you have people that's constantly on your back, calling you saying, "Okay, Tasha, I didn't get an audition. Well, you need to, maybe something's lacking there." You know what I'm saying? So you have to keep up on headshots. You have to keep up on studying your craft. You have to call in and say, "I'm available." And we have people on some major
Mhm.
television shows, and they are doing the work. They are putting the work in to stay there.
Good. Do you ever get people to come in and they have all these demands, and they want you to adhere to their money desires? Like they just come in busting through the doors, telling you what they want and what you gonna do.
The true divas, even the
Yeah.
divas, oh yes, and those are the people I get rid of because I don't have the patience. I'm like, I think you need to go to another agency because I really don't have the patience. Or I'm from LA, and this is what LA actors, this is what happens in LA. So why don't you have an LA agent? Or I live in New York and I'm well trained. Well, why don't you have a New York agent? Why are
Right.
you coming here to the Talent Connection in New Orleans? That's the mecca of the world, the acting
Mm.
mecca of the world. So why aren't you there? So
Right.
I read right into it, and I kind of just bring them on down in a very, very nice way. I just don't have time for it. Girl, I have a son that's serving 40 years in prison, and you think I have time for that?
You got too much to do. You ain't got time to be,
No.
especially the little short diva that ain't gonna make the little modeling thing anyway. Look. So all you people that are my height, stay away, stay out of Tasha's office because she don't have time for y'all now.
No, I don't do modeling. My son does modeling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good, good. We won't send the short people to your son either. Okay, so it has been a pleasure talking to you today. If someone wanted to work with you in the talent agency, can you also give your information again for them to
Yeah.
contact you there?
Mhm. So for my talent agency, you can email me at talent connection, and it's spelled TALENTCONNEXION @gmail.com. You can go there and email me a headshot and a resume. I'll forward it on to Stacy, who's making all of my calls right now. For anything else, you can visit my website at www.toshamills.com.
Awesome. There you have it. Tosha Smith-Mills, y'all. She's one of the top talent connectors in the game. Give her a call if you're serious and if you have some coaching. Don't call her. Don't call her with no mess. I'm just saying. Don't say I referred you. You better be right. So, thank you so much, Miss Tosha Smith-Mills. I hope you and your family are safe during this time. I can't wait to see that documentary. And we'll see you again, because I want you to come back so I can hear the outcome of the
Yeah. I'll be sending you tickets for the premiere.
Yes, ma'am. I want to be there front and center, because I'm gonna be looking around with my popcorn like, what they about to say?
And you keep doing what you do. I'm very, very proud of you. I've seen some of your videos. So you keep doing what you're doing, and I'm gonna leave you with this. Continue to dream the painting and wake up and paint the dream.
Thank you so much. God bless
you. Thank you.
Thank
you for having me. Thank you, Teresa. Bye.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.